that saltiness isn't bliss. I feel like sometimes the side dish that accompanies the main dish is just as important as the main dish itself. So tonight I am featuring my side dish, which will be creamy cauliflower. All right, so I am featuring creamy cauliflower. I almost said coleslaw, which is why I had that little blooper in there, but hey, it happens to all of us. So my main dish that I'm gonna pair it with is some bone-in pork chops that I have marinated in a lemon poppy seed salad dressing and sprinkled some shredded Parmesan on top of. So I'm gonna get those going in the oven, and then we will come on down to the cauliflower there and start prepping that. So the oven will need to be preheated to 350, but we won't be using that for quite some time with the cauliflower. So I've just got a large head here, and there's no rhyme or reason to how I cut it up, but I just start by pulling these large pieces off the sides all the way around. Just get those out of my way. All right, so once I get my cauliflower all cut up, I am gonna put it directly into my square pot here. And this pot allows me to steam my cauliflower. So it actually comes with a steaming tray. And then I've got about 1 inch of water down there in the pot. So I will lay all that raw cauliflower on there, put the lid on, boil it, and then we will go from there. But if you don't have a pot like this available to you, or at home, you can always steam the cauliflower in the microwave. You can always boil it in water in a pot on the stovetop, or you can just buy the bag of frozen cauliflower and cook it in the microwave. Whatever's quickest and easiest and you have on hand will work. So I've removed all those large pieces all the way around. Now I'm gonna cut this base off of here. So I just kind of cut that as close as I can. So next I'm going to turn my burner on to high, get that water going while I am cutting up my cauliflower. So that's how it looks right now. Again, there's no real rhyme or reason, so I just kind of cut through that. And then I just start slicing from there. If you know of any tips or tricks on how to cut this easier, please feel free to leave them down below. And then I just kind of separate the pieces as best I can so that I can trim those stalks and stems off of them. If we end up with some larger pieces here, that's okay, because this is going to be a side dish, so we don't need them to be real small. So you just cut them to whatever size you prefer, but that's probably a good piece right there. So I'll just cut that little stalk down, and I'm gonna stick with that just as it is and lay it right on top of my steaming tray there. That one's much smaller, but that'll work as well, so I'm just gonna lay that right underneath it. And I'm just gonna continue doing that as I go here until I've trimmed up the entire head of cauliflower. And then I will see you in just a bit. All right, so all my cauliflower sliced up and put in the pot. I am going to keep this boiling with the lid on for about 10 to 12 minutes. It all depends on if you want your cauliflower to be a little more on the crisp, tender side or on the softer side. But I'm gonna go with about 10 minutes. I will see you then. All right, I'm back. So about 10 minutes, my cauliflower has been boiling, and it's still quite a bit crunchy and on the hard side, so I'm gonna go another couple minutes. In the meantime, we can prepare our sauce that will give it its creaminess. So we're gonna start with some yogurt. Plain or vanilla yogurt will work just fine. I've got vanilla here. We want 2 tablespoons, so I'm just gonna kind of eyeball that. If you get a little extra, that's okay. It'll just add to the creaminess. 1 teaspoon of mustard. Any mustard will work. I'm going with the honey mustard. That's the one that's on the lower sodium side. 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. Any mayonnaise will do. And 1/4 teaspoon each of dried dill weed. and some garlic powder. And we're gonna mix and blend that well. And then once we drain the water out of our cauliflower pot, we will put this directly on it. Make sure it all gets coated, and then our last step will be to sprinkle some mild cheddar, some shredded mild cheddar cheese, or any cheese you love. Doesn't have to be the cheddar. Whatever you've got and whatever you like will work just fine, because everything's better with cheese on it, right? So I'll be right back. Okay, so all that sauce is in the pot, so now we can just take our spoon and kind of spread it around. Make sure everything gets coated evenly. All right, so that looks pretty good. So now we're just gonna sprinkle whatever amount you desire, or desired amount, I should say, right on top of whatever kind of cheese floats your boat. And then this will just go right into a 350-degree oven for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. So just however melted and browned you want your cheese, that's how long you'll leave it in. All right, guys, let's get dinner on a plate. So here is my lemony, cheesy pork chop with my creamy, cheesy cauliflower. A little more of that on there. There it is. Check that out. Now, if cauliflower is not your thing, or you don't have any in the house, substitute any veggie you love. You can make this work with any other vegetable. So get creative, have fun. Thanks for watching. See you next time.